Thank you so much for staying tuned. 2023 is around the corner and many persons are really gunning for that #1 position. It could be me. It could be anyone. Who said that I cannot become the president of this country? Come on, think about it. Anyway, you might have heard about the bill, talking about the bill that has to do with electoral amendment. Mr. President is still considering it, and that's what the presidency said, that Mr. President should really look into it, take his time to really make it come forth. And like he's saying, if that isn't done, they're not going to move a pen. Can you imagine that? And time just keep on ticking. Some are saying we need a vibrant. Others are saying no, we need one with experience. Some are saying it should be from the southeast, the south-south, the southwest. You just name it. Come on. Who does the cap really fit? I'm saying it doesn't really matter where the person is from, as long as it's able to deliver Nigeria. Can you beat that? Anyway, with me to throw more light on this, I have a politician, an entrepreneur, political analyst. I want to call him, he has the heart of the citizens. You know, in his mind, he feels with the citizens a lot, just like you and I. Join me to welcome Chukwuka Moye. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good morning.
All right, good morning. Well, 23 is around the corner. And many people have been talking about this. What will it be like? Some are saying, let's go according to the gentlemanly agreement. It's the turn of the southeast, south-south, southwest. Some are saying it doesn't really matter. Anybody can come from anywhere, even from the northern part of the country. What do you feel about this?
I think that at the end of the day, you have to look at where we are as a country.
Yes.
What is required? What are the real issues? I think it's important for us to ensure that we're considering prioritizing competence. It needs to be a key consideration.
Competence.
Competence needs to be a key consideration. So if you say that you're in a crisis, the country needs transformation, it needs someone who has skills with the international community for foreign direct investments, that we need to look better in terms of the country's image, that Nigerians need, to address the poverty situation, unemployment. Who are those that have the skills to address these issues? The moment we start making priority other factors, then you're not going to resolve the issue. I think where we are today as Nigerians is that people are saying, enough is enough, we're tired. We need to get out of the situation that we're in. And that should be our focus, to be honest.
It doesn't matter the region you're coming from, just have the mind of moving Nigeria to the next
It's more than
level.
mind, my brother.
More than mind.
It's more than mind.
But right now,
what about this competence? What about this skill?
some are saying the youths of today, that we have one or two persons from this particular sect in this country that can take us to the next level. Do you think that is a huge gamble in the sense that we need experience, and experience comes with age?
Well, so we have to be careful about our definition of experience, because the last time I checked, most of the leaders that have gotten us to where we are have experience. Is that what we are defining as experience? What are you looking for? Let's not make any mistakes about it. Sometimes there's value in not being too involved in the situation itself. Like people say, a lot of us are good football analysts because we're reviewing things from outside. We are not on the field. You can see clearly. There's value to being able to see things from outside. There's also value to not be so involved that you're compromised or that you're limited to what you can appreciate. So let's also understand that where we are now, it may not necessarily be an advantage for you to be someone coming from the system.
Right.
Let's start to consider new ideas, fresh ideas.
Fresh ideas, like from the youthful angle, right?
Definitely, and from competence perspective, let's come from outside, because if we say, like I said earlier, that the issues that we have are related to, people building, poverty of stomach and poverty of the mind. Who are those that have the skills to address those types of issues? You say job creation. Politicians typically will say, oh, I'm going to give you 10 million jobs. Do you have the right framework? Do you have the right basis? Have you created the enabling environment that will enable you create 10 million jobs? You haven't done a number of things. You haven't solved security issues. You haven't reformed some key institutions like justice, healthcare, education. And you're talking about jobs. You can't create jobs.
Right.
Until the foundation is sorted.
Now, some are saying for you to fly in Nigeria as a politician, you must belong to these two political parties, either the ruling party or the opposition, vis-a-vis APC or the PDP. Do you think that is correct? What about that mindset?
Historically, the truth is that those two parties have dominated. Okay. I will say, however, that if you carefully observe the current temperature of the polity, you would see and appreciate that people are beginning to think differently. People are beginning to appreciate the quality of the candidates. People are beginning to talk ideas and ideology gradually. There's a gradual shift. To what degree will this shift occur by 2023 is yet to be seen. However, I've heard parties that say, oh, we can vote one way for governor and vote another way for presidency. And it has happened before, right? So I think that what we should focus on is to ensure that at the end of the day, we have decent options on the ballot, paper. It's not okay for us to just say, I beg, it will happen any way they want to. We must get involved. In Edo State here, they got involved in the last elections, and I think, their voices were heard. I think it can be done on the national scale.
Now, some are saying talk is cheap.
Correct.
Some say can just say one or two things because you are not there in the seat of power. What if you're given an opportunity to be there, the number one man? What will you do differently? Because a lot of promises were made. People keep asking this question. We should keep interviewing personalities. What do you do? What about you? So what if you are there personally? What will you do differently? So I'm putting the question right to you. What will you do differently if you to be the man there?
What I will do differently is that, number one, focus on the people. It's easier for me to focus on the people. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm not your average politician. The moment you are someone who's experienced according to our typical definition and is someone from the system, what you would observe carefully is that they're focusing on their fellow politicians, not on the people. I don't have that sort of baggage. I'll be able to come in and say, no. This is the reason why I came. You sent me here as the people. So let me focus on that. Let me look at, I've mentioned the vision. I've talked about security. I've talked about reforming some of the key issues. Let me focus on that. Let my priority be education. Let my priority be healthcare. People cannot afford to pay their hospital bills. They can't afford to educate themselves. How do we then say that there's dignity in being in Nigeria? This is an issue. This is my own focus. This is my passion. How do we restore the dignity of Nigeria as a country and Nigerians? Because when you go abroad, they say Nigerians are amazing people. However, they tell you that there's no connection between the Nigerian human being and Nigeria as a country. So what I would do differently is to say, okay, I've spent over 2 decades in private sector, serving public and private institutions, reforming different institutions, helping businesses set up, mentoring all sorts of, clients and young people. They are out there now successful, even amidst the challenges in our economy. So I've grown, experiencing these things. So I'm coming from a user perspective. Not from the other side. I've felt it. I've felt the pain. I've felt building companies. I've supported those. So from a different angle, I'll be able to see things differently. So my proposals and my propositions and the things that I will do will be practical. It's not policy only. It's not theory only. It's what I have experienced that I'm coming to bring to bear.
Yeah. All right, now, Chukwuka, you get to realize that some persons in the private sector, opinion pool has it that they cannot really do well in the public sector, vis-a-vis trying to muster people along a particular, dimension when you talk about governance. Hence, the saying that a core politician should be what Nigeria should be looking at for come 2023. What are your perception about that?
A core politician is who? What do we define as a core politician? It's a question we must answer. We are all involved in politics daily. Even in your station here, there's politics.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you define as a core politician? It needs to be answered. Okay. Now, the question, there are people who have engaged and said, why didn't you start from councillorship? And it's a fair question. That's their own view of how things should be. But I come back and I ask them a question too. What are the skills that I will acquire as a councillor that is transferable to governor or presidency? And they can't answer. As a councillor, are you going to give me the international relations, skill? Yeah. Are you going to give me the kind of people skill at that scale? Are you going to give me other capability sets that will make me become the commander-in-chief of the country? There's really little correlation. So I'm not sure why we keep holding on to, political experience. Why I talked about competence from the beginning is people have done very well. Many people in private sector, many people have skills at a large scale. Many of them have not been tested. Those that have been tested that you're referring to are not people that had the requisite skill that are transferable.
Yeah.
But when you get the right people, and that's why 2023 should be different. That's why Nigerians need to shine their eyes and ensure that those that they're electing are people that have decent track record, have the the capability to do this.
Well, as your name depicts, Chukwuka Moye, you're from a particular, when I say your particular zone in the country, some are saying getting someone from that zone will be so difficult, despite the fact that many of the people that is their turn to rule, but they are not that jigged, or will I say, organized in the sense that they have this probability or mentality of projecting one candidate. Hence, it's difficult to get someone from that particular geopolitical zone. Do you share the same views and opinion with this set of persons?
I don't agree, mostly because if we have a poll, if we do a poll today, you would find out that a lot of the people that are reviewing this from a geographical perspective are not the majority. They are not the majority. If you talk to the average youth, the young, guys out there, they'll tell you that waiting concern me. I just want a better Nigeria. Their priority is not where does it come from. At all. They are saying things are too hard. You have been saying that we are going to be leaders of tomorrow. But we have not seen the tomorrow. We have not seen a better tomorrow. They are saying our future is now. Most people. The generality of the people are saying our future is today. Let us stop talking about, tomorrow. Let's stop talking about how many young boys and girls out there have, they are from Edo, they have a Yoruba girlfriend, or vice versa. They are not thinking geography. There are people that are pushing that agenda for different reasons, and it's fine. In democracy, it's good for everybody to come from different angles and perspectives. But ultimately, let's all focus on the good of the generality of the people.
On the good of the generality of the people. All right, before we go, what advice do you have for the electorate and, of course, the politicians, because 2023 is around the corner?
I think that we have to focus on ensuring that Nigeria gets out of this situation.
Yeah.
I think that 2023 is perhaps going to be one of the most crucial moments. You know, we say it in every election cycle, but this is probably more crucial than we've ever had, because if you look at a lot of the economic indicators, we're not in a good place. More importantly, my concern is where we are when it comes to, you know, things like unemployment, things like poverty. They say, according to statistics, that 1 in every out of 1 in every 5 out of school children in the world is Nigeria. That statistics is mind-blowing. The question is, what kind of future are we going to have 10 years, 20 years from now if our children are not in school today, if young people are not being educated? So even when I say, let me work with some of my contacts and friends in diaspora and international community to bring in big businesses and investments, where are the employees going to come from? A lot of our employees and people are not even employable. So a lot needs to be done, and you need people with capable hands to come in.
All right. So thank you so much, Chukwuka Moye.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your coming. You see, anyone can really aspire to be the #1 man in the country. I can aspire to do that. Chukwuka Moye can really aspire also to do that. There is no limit to your aspiration as long as you are able to take Nigeria from where she is right now to where it ought to be.
Correct.
All right. Well, let's just see how all this will unfold. I don't have enough time to go more than this, but we have to really work with time. I'll probably have maybe another time for us to really express more on national issues. Thank you so much, Chukwuma. I appreciate your coming.
Chukwuka.
Chukwuka. They say, okay, it's okay, Moye. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
I appreciate your coming. Well, you've heard him. He said it doesn't really matter. What really matters is, do you have the people's welfare at the back of your mind? He also said we are not in a good place right now economically. The narrative should be changed. What do you think about that? We'll be right back. Don't go away.